Igama lam ndingubongiwe ambesiwe Moni. Ndizelelwe apha eCape Town. Iilali zam siseGugulethu. For the longest time iilali zam beseGugulethu. But ngo-2007 xa ndisithi I do ndafumana ilali eTsholomanqa eMonti. So ndigodukela ke kwilali eseGugulethu ndiphinde ndigodukele kwilali eseTsholomanqa eMonti.
Igama nguLungelo kaMoni. Uzalelwe wakhulela eMonti. Iminyaka emininzi yokukhula eTsholomanqa kwilali zakhona. And then ndaza eKapa ngogqibezela ukufunda. And then ndagqiba ufunda ndase ndifumana ingqesho apha eKapa. With ingqesho apha eKapa ndasele ndikuba ngumhlali.
Okay, so it was in 2003. Ndandikhangela umsebenzi kwa-SAA. Kwakukhona ii-bosses ezazi-advertise kwa-SAA for a cabin crew, and I've always wanted to do that again. So I went there. Ndiyakhumbula uba ndandikhwele iteksi ndayohlika phaa e-airport eBridgini. Then I walked, yayikhona indawo ekuthiwa se-airport oval phaya uzifaka phaa i-CV. That and I walk in phaya, I met a nice lady who had also gone in to submit a CV yakhe. One of the requirements at the time was that you needed to be able to swim. Yabele ntombi ke ingakwazi uqupha yona. So ekuncokoleni kwam ndiyathetha ke mna. So xa sincokola fumanisa uba akwazi uqupha and mna ndiyakwazi uqupha. Then kwathiwa masubmit i-CV sizawufowunelwa. So between ukusubmitha kwe-CV nokufowunelwa wacela into yobana ndimane ndimfundisa uqupha. So sasimane sisiya etawuni ke kulaa swimming pool seLong Street eTown.
I had a cousin of mine, may her soul rest in peace. Wayefuna umsebenzi and then airport, and then while doing that she met Usiwe. And then funny enough, I was reminding her about this morning that I can still remember the call she made. It was a Saturday evening, and then she called me. Puti. Ndimbonile umakoti wasekhaya. Jaman, nceda ufike ngoku. Ndithi kulate. No, nceda ufike ngoku. Andibakhathalanga abanye. Iza ndimbonile umakoti wasekhaya. So what I was saying to Siwe this morning is that ndibuhlungu sometimes because what she saw then is happening now, and unfortunately she's not here to see it. So that's how we met.
For a week, for about 2 weeks, ndifundisa le ntombi uswima. So we became friends ke, and amane sithi kum this one day athi kum, "Hey, ukhona manje omnye umntana sekhaya endibawela into ba udibane naye." Umntana wakwethenza udibane naye. Hayi nje ndisindiswe ndimncinci ke, so ndandisenzisiwe ngela xesha. It was like so uyayazi ke into yobana andinamfana at the time. She was insisting on uba ndidibane na this cousin of hers. Ndikhumbula endicela ifoto lam into yobana tshomi khawundiboleke khandiphe mani ifoto lakho. Okay, nam ke andicingeli anything ndimphe ifoto lam. And yeah, so wacaba le nto ayenzayo apha kum, telling me about him. She was doing the same thing to him. Emxelela about this friend of hers adibene nayo ntonto bangabaseMonti.
Because before sidibane, the next day. Before sidibane, we started exchanging numbers. And then for a week, I think, started phoning saying singabonani. By the time sibonana, it's been months since because I remember the first month, my bill contract funds is saying my bill contract like 2,000 rand, and that was 2003. You can imagine how much was that. So we spent the first week sitting on the phone and we could talk. Put a bag phone, we will know back away. No big phone away. makubeke wena. And then
October, yes, go-2003 kwaba khona ibreak eyayizaba khona kulele cousin who is a friend of mine. So they invite me to go to the braai. I agreed to go, and kaba bayenza the same thing kwela kwicala lomyenam as well ba kukho ibreai makaze. And that's how we were going to meet, but he ended up not coming to the braai. But kwabe ku exchange numbers kwakusela xesha ke le SMSs ilela xesha le zazikhona za SMS ziforwardwayo wethu zine helicopter ntoni. So bayekulaa mntu bethanda umthumelele eza so we spent about 2-3 weeks sincokole ephonini with never seen each other.
And then there was still, I don't know if you guys had experiences when the cell phones were still a big thing. There was those messages that were pre-typed, and then we'll share those, and then
but we were so comfortable with each other. So when sidibana ke, I remember it was the 13th of October udibana kwethu ngo 2003 for what you would call a date to get it down. I saw someone who he was so sincere, you know, so believable, so pure. Ndiqale ndathi ndisindiswe ndimncinci yena bengasindiswanga. And I think that's the beauty of ukudibana kwethu sobabini. It was really purely divine in that bengasindiswanga ndabe ndisindisiwe mna, and mna ndabe ndikula prime age apho i-CV zabazalwane ziyeza zifuna uapply le ntombi iyaqonda iza kahle. But there was something that I saw in him that I've never seen in the cohort of people who were interested in me at the time. There was something so sincere and something so godly about him. I remember ndi conflicted because ndithi xa ndithetha naye into yobana uThixo wayethe kum, you are the person, this is a man of God, and you will understand usuke ezilalini eMonti, very staunch kwindlela zabo, amasiko olahlobo lwethu uba sisindisiwe we are staunch. He was like that. So ndilwa noThixo ngomntu bona, how can you say this is a man of God when kancinci ufuneka hambe ayokwenza izinto zakokwabo ntontoni, but kukhona lento ethi this is a man of God. And so I decided to venture into that relationship in 2003, and it has been one of the best things, so Bumbam, I must say. I think again sindiswe ngela xesha levangeli eli uncompromising, ne? That is the foundation of the gospel, and ndayamkelayo le yayisithi intombi iphila ngohlobo oluthile, le inxiba ilokho ezinde, inganxibi amacici ndidibene nawo inoba sendiphangela. Lavangeli ithwalayo, lavangeli ikhonza every day. So it was quite strict and quite staunch, and yandinceda ke because yandifundisa izinto ezininzi. I think there were a lot of dynamics for I think ngoku bendiqala uthetha ndendathi into yoba there was something very sincere about my husband, something so believable that even abazalwane at the time, ones who had come to approach me, ones who had come to approach abefundisa ndandikhonza kubo, even my mother, they didn't have that authentic, believable thing that enandibona. Like amehlo wakhe, I'm gonna and he still does this nangoku, like he just looks at me golahlobo, and yeah, so he one yayikumamela ukutsho kukaThixo, you know, that this is a man of God. And from that experience on its own, yandifundisa into yobana from a mud situation. Xa uThixo ebethethe something to you, regardless of what noise around you is, hamba nawe nangexesha ungakayiboni into yobana yiyo na, but believe ilizwi lakhe that it is. And so it was not easy. I was subjected to a lot. You know, sasi ne worship team thina yayilela vangeli loba lohlambulula, yabo, ungqine la kube ngathi la abamama nabathatha bayazibona izinto obuzenzile ngoku ungakhange bazibone. It was that kind of environment. And so yayiba khona la nto yokuzi gweba ngokwakho, ne? Because I recall ndiye kuba worship team, I recall ndiye participate kwizinto ezininzi enkonzweni purely by being in a relationship. It was not an intimate relationship at the time, but just by virtue of being in a relationship. Ndaba subjected to ezo zinto zobana mhlawumbi umtshato ozulasta, you know, how can ube yoked with an unbeliever, because likhona elalizwe litshoyo nam waye ngasiniswanga, but wayephila impilo yomntu osindisiwe, wayeshota njengokwamkela uYesu. I remember even after ke ngoku sitshatile, it was not easy for me, because kwakufuneka ndimamele ukutsho kaThixo, uThixo uthe nguye, ne? So I was like, okay, uba nguye ke makamkele uYesu, mandimbone samkele uYesu if he is the one, because you keep on saying into yobana he is the one. I remember the early years of umtshato wethu. Myena mna ubusindiswe kunyaka wesine sitshatile. I served him. Ebengumuntu ke satshata ngo-2007, and then move to sahlala eJoburg. Njengoba sihlala ke eJoburg, kufuneka simane sihamba sisiye eMonti ngoba unomcimbi funeka wenziwe. I would submit to him kwezo circumstances, ndifike pha ndiziprepare xana ndizawuya in prayer, ndiziprepare ngandlela zonke, because uThixo bethe he is the one. So I never preached to my husband. I just walked and believed elalizwe belithethile into yobana he is the one. And so ndandiye ndifike phaya ndenze laa miqombothi ngegazi likaYesu, ndithethe ezi zinto that endizikholwayo, ezi ndifuna uzibona zisenzeka kuyo. And so by the time esamkela uYesu, I was no longer praying for him to, I was already thanking God for having done that, because imicimbi yakhe wayesekhunjuzwa ndim ngiqoba ejonga ubona xa so comfortable in your prayer, xa somthembe kangaka uThixo uyibona majonga iyasebenza le nto yomthandazo. Zasendizibona mos, because initially wayesoloko every 3 months siyanyuka siyokwenza ntontoni whatever. Ngoku ipheli 6 months, hayi akathi makuyiwe kuyokwenziwa. Ndaqomba no man, iyangena nomculo awudlalayo oBenjamin Dube bayafakwa ngoku. Hey, all right. So by the time esamkela uYesu, when we came back to Cape Town, we came back to Cape Town in 2010. Yeah? So when we came back to Cape Town, immediately he accepted Christ. What I loved about him as well is that he was very supportive of my journey with the Lord, and he respected that so much. He would drop me off in Konzweni, aphinde ondilanda. I remember ngokusahlala eJoburg, sasikhonza kwimall ekuthiwa yiMaponya Mall eSoweto. Andidrophe phaa enkonzweni, ayongena emall, afika ahlale eNews Cafe, bahlala eNews Cafe bayiphiphipi, gqiba kwakhe xa iphuma inkonzo wahamba yomthatha. He was like that. Even coming back to Cape Town ke, he was that kind of person. So to answer laa mbuzo ke ubundibuze wona, it was not easy ukutshata nomuntu ongasindiswanga at the time, but ukumamela kwam uThixo about him and serving him led to him accepting Christ and being this honorable man that he is. Oye wafundisa mna about salvation. He just grabbed it and ran with it in the same way. Ebestonch kwela cala wavele nje yazi levels ezihigher kweli cala lakaYesu, and so wandenza mna mntu ebekhulele kuyo ndiyibone ngohlobo olutsha. The principle, or what I'm really saying, is that And change imfundiso, but I had to listen to what God was saying to me, and it yielded as a result that He wanted.
Yeah. It was the only challenging part was when sedlala, because ngosa sedlala wayeqinisekile usisi into yobana akuzothethwa ziko. Yabona ke ngela xesha ke ungumfana, I mean the main thing is that and ke ngoku ayisiyo lento ndikholelwa kuyo, but somehow I think it was the grace of God kuba ke yayiplan yakhe ndayinyamezela loo nto. If I were to try to justify ukuthi intweni ebanga ndiyinyamezele ngoku, I can't find a reason, but ndandizixelela into yobana uzawutawa. So and kunjalo ke, and it's not like kukhona nabanye, so okugcina kwam yena ndilindele nguye yedwa, but andifumani yonke lento ndiyifunayo. And ke ukhumbule ke, and nomntu ongangam ngela xesha ulo ukuthi that's the main thing enhlokweni yakho umfana, especially ongakhambi ukhuliswe ngandlela zezwi nohlala uziphatha. The imfundiso zendawo okhulela kuyo are such that as a boy that's what you're after. So now xa ingenzekiyo ke ngoku uyahamba ukhangela apho izakwenzeka khona. But uThixo ke wandigcina ke sade sabe kanti sitshatile. Sesabe sitshatile, I didn't have much challenges. She's the one who made the sacrifices. I didn't. Because there was nothing that I had to change to accommodate her. Kuba ekholwa yena ndingakholwa. On me accepting Christ, I think it was time kwakukho umfundisi waseJoburg or messages zakhe tend to appeal to the non-believers. Ngenxa line of preaching yakhe. So kwakuzashumayela yena this time, and ayazi ukuba ndiyamazi. So it was a Wednesday, I can still remember. The Wednesday, nyani kashumayele ke lutata. Then ndisendisiya nge-Thursday, it was a revival event. Ndiye na Thursday, ndiye na Friday. Then it was the Sunday when I went kwakushumayela someone else came up. And then that's when I accepted Christ that Sunday. And I haven't looked back since. One thing that, looking back now, with the benefit hindsight, is that ngela xesha I didn't realize ukuthi kwangemandanga and I was the cause. I only got to know ukuthi kwangemandanga ngela xesha ndingekakholwa ndisawusindiswa, because that's when we started to be a union group, which goes back to elalizwi ebeli gothile na elithi you shouldn't be yoked with a non-believer. That's where it really hits home, because xana nikholelwa kwizindlu ezahlukeneyo nina nobabini, you might not think that anivani, but because spiritually anivani izawumanifesta every day with izinto that you can't explain, but because imimoya is not agreeing with each other, nani nizawuphela ningavumelani ngezinto that sohleli wedwa you can't justify ukuthi why would we get into such a fight for such a thing. Now xana ndijonga back ngoku, it was just purely into yobana wayesindisiwe and I was not. Her point of view was different to mine, and utata who did a premarital counseling yethu said this as a warning ukuthi ubana we are so different that it will take the grace of God for us basihlale kulo. Warning yena ke because ke wayemazi yena babekhe bakhonza kulo esithi because he could pick up that I was firm in my belief also, and as much as she was, and that's a combination of all the time, because there was no way I will back down, and she's going to submit up until a point, so which then means because we tend to think as Shatila Indobana, it's about I love you and you love me, and it's beyond that.
Yeah.
You have to be one spiritually for you to really experience that I love you.
It's 14 years now, Sichatile. And we've gone through things. Mbeke wa mention uba sasi xabana kakhulu kwezam kula minyaka yokuqala. We never had what you will call a honeymoon. Tina, we really hit the ground running with iziqwenga of ingxaki esasidibene nazo. The beauty of being married to my husband is that he is a very calm person, ne? Ulungile man, you know, ulunge manyana. So mnake loud, and I come from a very loud female dominant family. And so I'm very opinionated in the theater. I express how I feel. But what I learned is having a way of ukungavisisani. The calmness that he brings into the relationship is the one endienza grounded, and it just grounds us as well. I learned in Dobana, you can disagree with your person respectfully. Akukho sidingo sobana nibe ni raise voices. Akukho sidingo sobana nibe mean to each other because niyathandana. But shall become one. That process ka one, you are a team. And so whatever it is that any face are, let it be njema sibona le tafile mina nomini namsihleli kwecala itafile nansi ya. So i-conflict siyibekele on that side of the table, thina sibe ngapha, and we deal with it rather than it coming in between us, yabo. So saye sasifundisa loo nto ke into yobana masidilishane nalanto, masidilishane nala meko yobana ndithanda ukusebenzisa imali, ndisuse mna from it and deal with it, yabo. So we learned that, and we also learned ubana kubalulekile to communicate. Akho nto ibaluleke, like akho nto emtshatweni engabalulekanga to talk about. Everything is important, yabo. So because masisinabantu ababini abohlukileyo, sidibene sesine ID, sine views ezohlukileyo on things. And so ndiyathanda uyenza le example. It sounds petty, like uba uyayibona le vase iyellow kum, but someone else coming into the room umbuzo ba injani ikhala yala vase mhlawumbe ngathi mustard, you understand. So perspective yethu on things is different by default, and so if you don't talk about that, I think conflicts ezininzi zenzeka because one assumes that the other knows, yabo. Because ndiyibona yellow mna, I will assume that my husband sees it as being yellow kanti mustard kuye, or in fact ibinoba red if you like. So siye safunda loo nto into yobana let's talk about yonke into, you know. Let us be a team, let us see sibambane against it, you know. Noba iza from his side of the family, noba iza from my side of the family, let it be that side, and then isishiye thina sikunye. So sifundeke to rely on each other, to have each other's back all the time. Ubu athala weaknesses zam nguye uThixo amzise into bana azishielde okanye azikhaverishe. Weaknesses zakhe uThixo beke mna to be the person ozikhaverishayo, not to be the person who competes okanye who wants to expose them. So if we were to approach a conflict from the point of saying sibanye and the two shall become one, xa sibanye sikwitimenye asidlali as opponents, and whatever form of argument esinayo, we argue in love, because ekugqibeleni kuzafuneka siphinde sayothi sleep together.
Now we've covered quite everything there, but into endinoyifaka nje kancinci kukubana kubalulekile kuthi into esiye sayifunda nento ke xa sine-opportunity yofundisa abanye esiye siyishare is that ndifuna uemphasize kule nto yobana thina sobabini sibani. I-challenge it doesn't matter uba ize ngabani, yi-challenge thina isiyisolvayo. Ayisinguye lo ubangela kube njeni endlini, kunjeni endlini thina sithini kuze kube right. I'd like to make an extreme example. Ukubana umyeni usokoliswe limehlo kwanesiqhamo, sithi abanesiqhamo sosokola bamehlo, ayingomyeni. Into ebangela uba ndibeke ngolo hlobo ukubana once ibe ingxaki yam, my first stance kukubana ndizame ukuzidefenda, and once ndifinish into yobana I have to defend myself kuye, then asisakwazi uyijonga kunye le ngxaki. Ayiseyo ngxaki yethu, ingxaki yam. And ke ngoku loo nto izawukha umsantsa between thina. Noba injani, noba ize nabani, yeyethu to resolve, because ultimately izawuaffecta affecta thina sobabini. So the sooner we see it as eyethu, the sooner we overcome it. Sishiyeke thina sisekho. To me, that's how we conquer everything, because Tito has thrown quite a lot our way, and Londo yasinceda to stand kunye. Noba mhlawumbi umzekelo kukho umuntu ohluphayo from icala lam obanga nobana ibe kanti besinongavisisani, kuba siyijonga ngolo hlobo ibangela into yobana ingabi ngobana abantu bakokwenu kind of thing, because ininzi loo nto emtshatweni into yobana ngeba kumandi apha if abantu bakokwenu bebenje, yayibona loo. So ke ngoku ibangela into yobana siyazi into yobana ngowethu noba ukweliphi icala, it's upon us to make it work for team.
I like that.
Nami ndizawuthi andifuna uassume. In terms ziya-evolve with ixesha. Now I could think that yilena kanti yayileyo ngo-1980.
I-deal breakers, it's something umuntu uba nazo like before mhlawumbi xa nisanda utshata okanye xa ni umzekelo athi omnye xa engekatshati umhita athi mna uba umuntu wam angaze atshite ndiphumile kuloo mtshato. That's a deal breaker for me. Okanye athi omnye yena hayi uba ngaze kuze umntana ke enye ndinganyamezela but uba kubekho umntana I can't. It's a deal breaker, I'm out. So I don't want to hear your deal breakers. I want to hear your view on deal breakers. What's your view around deal breakers?
Okay.
Yeah.
Xa sitshata ne kukho eza vows that ezi-exchangewayo phaa.
Yes.
Those vows, the godly vows, not a can serenate chawe give out, no, not that. Eziya umtshato osekelwe kuzo. Eza vows zikhankanya izinto ezininzi phaya ne. Zithetha about loving and cherishing. City to have and to hold, for better and for worse, for richer and for poorer, through sickness and in health, until death do us apart. And khange ke ngoku ndibone phaa into ethetha nge-deal breakers ne. Ndibona phaa i-commitment to an unknown journey that says akukhathaliseki noba yintoni ezayo. Love and to cherish, ne? To have and to hold, regardless of ubana kwenzeke ntoni. To have and to hold, to love and to cherish, better and for worse. Ibe ngathi ke kum xana kuba khona i-conversations ze-deal breakers ngathi sijonga eza positives zipha kweza vows, singazijongi eza negatives zipha eza-vows, because kukho iline positive in the same sentence kubekho le ingamnandanga, but ingathi ukuze sibe kanti sifikelela even to the discussions about deal breakers, because besiye sajonga kakhulu ezi ngathi zimnandi, ne, and ke that's a package. And so I think xa ungena kuyo iBhayibhile phaa ku-1 Corinthians 13, I love that scripture, because xa sincokola nee-couples mhlawumbe ezizawutshata siye sibuze into yobana why do you want to marry the person ofuna umtshata. I-answer eye ivame kwasekuqaleni is that I love so and so. And so if you read 1 Corinthians 13, uza kucacisela phaa ulove uthetha ntoni, yabo. Uthetha ulove is kind, love is patient, akufuni okukwakho kodwa, so uxolela konke. Ithi xa izawuphela phaa ku-verse 8, I think love never fails, yabo. So bendithe ndiyamthanda, ne, and so njengoba ndiye ndamthanda, I am committing myself to ezi vows zigcwele kangaka. Under la line yokugqibela kuphaa ku-Corinthians 80, love never fails. Love will be tested, love will be on trial, but love never fails. So akukho part endiye ndiqonde into yoba ufanele into uba kwenzeke lena akukho room yawuphuma xa usongena. I think that is how we are supposed to be approaching it, that akukhathaliseki noba kwenzeke ntoni. I remember celebrating si-renew vows zethu kwi-10th anniversary, and in my speech prior there is no vow engakhange itestwe in this marriage kula 10 years. Siku-14 ngoku, but kula 10 years sijike so many times, even apart kula until death do us apart. We know very well love and to cherish. We experience it every day. We know very well for better, you know, for better when things are going so well, when ingathi kusesama oko yonke into iyablosoma. We know that. We know for worse, where ningayazi noba niza kulala nitye ntoni. For worse lo ufika eza letter zichaza ba amanzi azodisconnectwa. Yabona ku-for worse uyadibana somehow no-for poorer, yabo. Apho ezi zinto mhlambi bendinothi bendimtshatele zona umyenam sizi-experiencile ungabikho kwazo, you understand, but love never fails, uyabo. So we experienced sickness where uqonda uba ijonga inoba kuzawufowuna ngoku kusithiwa hayi ifamily mayizwe. I remember ye apho ndandigule kakhulu where nyani yayingathi yabo u-for worse sickness etestwe to the core, uyabo. Akazange wajika from those vows. So what am I saying? I'm saying xa uye wamfumana the one that God says he is the one, that conviction endandinayo mna that he is the one, and whatever it is that he saw yena, izinto ezenzekayo in between, they don't change the core that he is the one until death do us.
Oh.
I think you need to add ndawukwenza nje umzekelo or as vows I think they were tested. I want to use le yokugula because it was multifold. It tested my faith in God and it tested my love for her. In that when egula blanyaka, there was a point where the doctors called me Zati she has to have a shunt kuba there's an excess of fluid engqondweni yakhe, so it has to be drained, and if they don't do that, one is either we're going to lose her, two, or she'll be permanently blind. And while we telling the kum, there was that small voice that said, if I allow that to happen, they were painting the picture medically, and I can see ukusokola kwakhe. Like, she was repaying nje that you wouldn't want umuntu wakho abe kuyo. Kwakufuneka igumbi ehleli kulo limnyama because amehlo akhe can't stand the light. Akakwazi uzenzela nto, uyahlanjwa, uyathwani. Now kuthiwa this is the only way that will get her a semi-normal life. If I don't do this, then it's either I lose her, she dies, or uzawuphila with no sight. And then the voice says to me, if I allow that, she's gone. I had to say no. And mind you, I think it was 2 years after NCDC when that happened. 2012, right?
2014.
Yeah, 4 years after NCDC. And ngela xesha ke ngoku I've got abantu aba close kum, both from ekhaya nabantu nendikhola nabo, bathi kum giving options of what we can do. And I can remember my dad saying to me one time, ezile cha kudala usebengaphelanga, ndiyayazi ukukholelwa entweni, but mntakabawo, give me a chance now, uzasishiya lo mntana, let me try. I had to say no, because it felt like if I try something else, which yena self angakholelwa kuyo, I will be giving up on her and selling her short. And yandinceda loo nto because ngoku when we look back, we can say we've been through that and God was there. And if God was there for us through that, there's nothing else. So again, we'll go to come back to the question, what will be a deal breaker then? Because if uThixo ube nathi kwezi, then we've got a reference point to go back to sit. We might be facing this now, but we know that uThixo, we've been through here and he came through. We've been through here and he came through. So now we can be assured that he's still going to get through. Okay, she was in hospital for 4 months straight, and then 4 months straight, and then after the 4 months, she was in and out hospital for the next 2 months. And then I remember the key physician, a sitting me down, Ocean. I said, Mr. Moni, I know that you believe what you believe, but I don't know what else we can do for your wife. The best scenario for her is her going out and living on this chronic medication. And it was clear that that was not a physical more than it was spiritual. So, and I could accept that the doctors are giving that because that's what they can see medically. And they can only answer things medically. And there are things that are beyond science. And I had to trust that. And I couldn't fault them to say by a failure because they are only human. And I had to trust uThixo. We are asked why we have to go through this. It might not be clear to us now, but I'm sure later down the line it will be. And again, I have to hold on. You know, it got to a point where I had a grandfather of mine, or is in the sea. Utata, one phone this one time, sithi kumchawe, man kukhona umuntu ophilise intombi yakhe, some prophet, akadinga ubambone, uzawufona, and uzawuphakama lo mntwana esibhedlela. My answer kuye was, Duna, ndiyakova, if lo prophet ukholelwa kulo Yesu ndikholelwa kuye, all he has to do is to kneel down kule ndawo kuyo, athandaze kuThixo, abize igama lakhe. He doesn't have to call. Nam ndizakwenza the same. Imithandazo yethu, if iyavana, uzawuphila. Because what I didn't want is someone ozawuthi usindiswe nguye. I wanted it to be clear kumuntu obana God did it. So ndandingafuni umuntu uzawuthi wenza le naku uyaphakama. And to prove that it was a spiritual thing, why nikwa no prescription? And she had to resign emsebenzini because what 34 months engakwazi uphangela. And at that point we were not sure ukuthi how long it will be. And I didn't want her to ubana athe kula meko abe ecinga nento zemisebenzi. She had to resign emsebenzini esesibhedlela. Resign emsebenzini, and now usesibhedlele, I'm at home with abantwana ababini, you know, with when 2 years lomncinci. So I was emsebenzini esibhedlele endlini, but by the grace of God, I had an employer who was very understanding and accommodating. And ke ngoku nasendlini umakhulu Mama Ngosazi was very supportive. Xa kufuneka esendlini, I will take her, ashiyeke nabantwana ndibe kunye naye. Sometimes ke ndise yena, ndimshiye naye, ndihambe mna, so that nabo bebe no moment. But it got to a point ngoku apho wayengasafuni nabantu baninzi bazana, because xa tshoyo ngokuthi she could see how sick she is from our faces asemjongile. Because uzawuthi xa mjongile olwasizi lumxele into yobana hey ndiyagula nyana. And again with ukuthemba uThixo, whatever, there's one scripture that not a deal breaker but a breakthrough for me. John 16:33. When I read it, it was like uThixo ngokwakhe is reading it to me. Then that's where, even when ndibasesibhedlele and people will offer suggestions, that scripture will come back. And then, even though ndingaboni indlela now, but I had to hold on. Ubana uthe, he has conquered the world. And by him conquering, that means that we have conquered.
Sure.
Yeah.
It was not an easy one.
It was really not an easy one. When I think for him now, it reaffirma, you know, the way esi pila impilo yokholo, like a life of faith ngayo, as a couple and as a family, stems from the fact that asixelelwa nguThixo, we don't know of God because sifundile izwi okanye someone preached to us. People preached to us, but le season athetha ngayo uyena is one season that proved in a tangible way uThixo for us, you know, where I was getting people coming, you know, when ukhona ukugula oku so serious, you even have people who are coming to see you, urealize ukuba yeah ajonga ndiyagowa nyhani ngoku. I had people coming to esibhedlele, friends flying from Joburg, from all parts of South Africa to come and see me, because it was that kind of a situation. Apho ngathi inene ndizohamba. I remember this last time ndingeniswa esibhedlele, now I was convinced uba okay John, ndiyakhumbula ndiyaresuscitatewa apha. Hey, noma ndiyahamba ke namhlanje. But my husband was so full of faith, unmovable faith that xana mna ndileli phaa esibhedlele in hospital, like dandikla of being at peace, you know, when ugula kakhulu uqoma like
anything can happen.
Yes, right. He is the one that fought in prayer for us. I remember for the longest time my brain was swelling. Yabo. And akho mntu uyaziyo le nto, akho but ixesha liyahamba kwakuthandazwa. I remember oogqirha abaya, they don't know what to diagnose, they don't know what to say, bakungene kwi-fasting and prayer, and then the following week izawuvela i-diagnosis uba yinto ethile. Then you know, what am I saying? I'm saying that ndibone bendithe kuni ngoku bendisaqala uthetha into yobana umyeni nam ukuhamba kwakhe impilo yokholo luye lanyusa elam izinga and my journey with the Lord. And so kuye kwa la experience yasibangela into yobana singayi-treat ivangeli, singayi-treat i-relationship with uThixo as like an ordinary thing, you know, like what people do on Sunday. It's a lifestyle thing. It's us. In Him we live, we move, we exist. Literally, that is how siphila njalo. You know, akukho different versions. Ubana, you know, xana ndikwe crowd ethile okanye sikwindawo ethile luhlobo esiphila ngalo lolu xa silapha endlini abantwana ba-experience siphila ubomi obunjena because we've seen God walking with us kwizinto ezinkulu. I think we are highlighting le yokugula, just linking it back to Eza Vows and those deal breakers. But there have been so many things where we've seen isandla sikaThixo literally carrying us throughout the journey.
Season esikuyo right now, I will say, I'll put it in twofold. Ngokwasemtshatweni and ngokwaseluthandweni, I'll say we are now experiencing our honeymoon. 1. 2, on life in general, I will say we experiencing ukulunga kukaThixo kwinto ezibambekayo. You know, uThixo has been with us and has blessed us in that usikhulisile ekwazaneni naye. To me, I think that's the greatest of blessing that one can have. Getting to know God for who God is and who you are in God. To me, that's there was a friend of mine, Yase Ghana, who was a prophet, used to come to South Africa. I used to say, Koye, it wouldn't really bother me much not having stuff, but if I can just get to know Him better every day, to me then everything is done. So I'm saying twofold here because, like, yeah, Goku we really getting to, and with everything else and the headache and the losses and the challenges, but we can go through them because we're just in a happy space. Yeah. Tickle, like this Tickle's just been very good. The song says he keeps on doing great things. He's just been great, and great in ways that we've never dreamt of. Whatever dreams we had, maybe will be Linda. He takes that in folds, and then in such that when and we do this often, almost every second day, that he's making it clear to us that it's not us. There isn't even a gap where we can fool ourselves to say silapa because we can, silapa because we're so good, silapa because we're smart or we've made the right decisions. No, it's got nothing to do with the decisions we've made. It's got everything to do with His grace in this season. And again, by His grace again, we are able to enjoy it, because sometimes niyakwazi uba kwi-season ningabikho in touch with the season and miss it. And
ifani, it can be a contradiction, and sometimes xa ungekho aware or mindful of a season ukuyo, it's easy for you to miss it. That in the midst of the loss that we experienced, it's a huge loss. A loss yokulahlekelwa ngumama, because she besingo bestie naye, but her and my husband were besties as well. So silahlekelwe kakhulu, and that on its own would be enough for one to be despondent, asgqume all the time. But iziqwenga uThixo azenzayo in kuthi nje sobabini, there's this level of comfort, there's this exciting thing about umtshato wethu, about each other nje, ngokena sasidibana 18 years ago, I used to have goosebumps and these chills, I still have those, he's still that. Abantwana bayathanda ukusigezela xa silapha endlini, bathi hayi kaloku mama, your consistent husband, okanye bathi kuye, your consistent wife, because he's like that. He's consistent in loving me. He's consistent in akho mntu ushawarisha ngamazwi amnandi njengam. Ndisavuka ekuseni, I will hear amagama amnandi consistently. We have been together for 18 years, and he's just iyanyuka man, timeless, ayinama freely, ayinazinto anazo, it doesn't hinge on what he has or what he has accomplished. It's just him, So sigla season where we are drooling at each other nje, without having something sithi kwenzeke enzekileyo nje yo guys, so he's still that person oyenza those butterflies nje apha esosini sam, okanye ngokweepopayi eza hearts, bona eza hearts zibapha koza popayi xa in love kwe-TV. So I get that. That's the
but can I just quickly jump in there? She says all of this, that I'm this, but you know what makes that effortless come is that after Ndienda Zana and goes, I got to be in a better position to reflect on the sacrifices she's made for us. And me understanding those sacrifices, itikum, I can't do enough to show her that I see that. Because I understand now, ongelulanga kuye to ukusuka eJoburg singene emotweni and then abe eyosila, mind you ke ndingokuqala ekhaya. So even if umcimbi wenziwa ndim, she is expected that she is the one who's driving it. This is something angakholelwa kuyo. This is something that goes against everything she stands for. But Umama will tell you that she had her concerns. Xana ndithatha umntana wasedolophini, Dilo, uthi mama Dilo uqambizayo. Dilo, lo mntana abantu uzawukwazi utheza, uzawukwazi ubasa, uzawuthini xa kuxheliwe apha kokwenu. But ngoku umama knows into yobana if kuyasetyenzwa ekhaya akanani into amthembileyo njengayo. Kuyinto zokwenza irostile and all those things ezenziwayo ngabantu abangomama phandle, uyayazi if usiwe ukhona uphele. Now ke ngoku mna ndingumyeni ithi loo nto, every second I have to show her that I see you.
Your joy, he sees me, but like he sees me. Like you know, uThixo has his own way of ukusiphilisa okanye ukusivisa kamnandi. Zikhona experiences esikhula nazo, you know. Nandi, as I said, ndikhulele eGugulethu. Abantu abaninzi ekhaya bebengatshatanga. And ke iGugulethu ke yabo inohlobo lwayo, uyabo, there's uburafu bayo, the ukhona nje izinto zaseGugulethu. And there's trauma as well that is linked to experiences that one sees, izinto mhlawumbe zenzeka kufutshane kuwe. So zingakubangela into yobana ucinge into yobana uthando lukho, okanye uthando mhlawumbe lufanele uba lundlongondlongo, okanye uthando lufanele ubana lurafu okanye, you know. But I have experienced peace. I have experienced olathando lwase-TVini, man. You know, guys, yeah. So, yeah. And ndingathetha kuse, and I think part of us sharing this is to illustrate or to be the voice that says umhle umtshato, to be the voice that says umtshato that is centered around uThixo.
It's a struggle.
It's not a struggle, you know. Kumnandi, you know, kumnandi. I wouldn't lie to you. And I want even the people ababukeleyo to andithi perfect. I'm saying kumnandi.
You know, knowing what I know now, having been through what we've been through, and having seen what I've seen, you know, umtshato is one thing that you commit to something before you even see it, which is why abanye abantu bathi basawuthi athi this is not what I signed up for. I've been blessed in that I always say to you, Nobana, if I'll get another chance to go one day, I will do it every day. And last night, my son and Sakum will stay and says Aulal, and then whisper something to Kumamak, and then he says, "Oh, Dad, it's not Valentine's yet. You can wait for lovey-dovey when it's Valentine's." And then I said to him that now, boy, for me, it's Valentine's every day. And you make it easy for me to love you. And it has now become second nature in that I always try and more than yesterday, so that I can always keep that smile. And even to reflect on when things were fresh after losing mom and you were dealing with it. The one thing that used to hurt me is not seeing you smile. So that's why I come every day for the next days to take us as person. If I can just manage to make you smile every day, then I'll pay.
When we started our relationship yayindimuntu othetha kakhulu, but ezixesha lihamba ndiyafumanisa into yokubana umntu othetha kakhulu kule relationship nguwe. Ngoku it's one of those moments apho ndingenamazwi. You have been so true to the vows that we took many years ago. You have been so consistent in loving me. You have been so consistent in prioritizing me. You have been so consistent in cherishing me. I don't look for it anywhere else because you do it every day. Every day you shower me with amazwi engawaziyo nokuwathathaphi. But ndisavuka nje ekuseni, you just know what to say. You are so consistent in how you serve me and how you serve and lead our home. I wouldn't ask for anything. I have it all. I just want to thank you for being you know. I want to thank you for being such a beautiful person, so beautiful inside and outside. With inhliziyo yakho, it's amazing. You are the most selfless person endimaziyo. You are the most patient person endimaziyo. You just know how to bring out the best in me. You are the person who believes in me so much more than I believe in myself at times. You are the person who's my cheerleader when I need to go out there and do something, knowing that I have gotten affirmation from you. Dance and dance, whatever it is that I need to do. So, Difonokuti, thank you. Thank you for modeling umtshato kaThixo for us, for our children. Abantwana bethu are witnesses of love. They are witnesses of peace. They are witnesses of the goodness kaThixo through what you create apparently. So I thank you so much. I wouldn't ask God for anything. I wouldn't ask you for anything. Yeah, I'm just not mind. I love you. Mm-hmm.
What does a perfect weekend look like to me?
Okay. You are quite a quality time person, so it will probably be a weekend either at home or away, but with me. No one else.
My answer, to be specific, it's home or a drive or a walk along the beach with you.
So it's right. Yay!
What do I like more, sweet or savory or salty?
Savory.
Mm-mm.
Really?
Yes.
Minus 1 point.
Really? Put up the sweet. Okay.
You owe him.
Okay, I owe you.
What am I scared of?
Sure. You're not scared of anything. I can't think of something that you're scared of. Maybe a snake?
No.
You're not scared of a snake. You're not scared of anything. Sorry. Maybe
Okay.
maybe losing me.
Ufanele.
Yes, it is actually.
Oh my word!
Also,
Lucky.
I'm not scared of anything much. So, alright, so it's
Yeah.
Wow.
What is my all-time favorite food?
I think it's oxtail. Oxtail or lamb shank. Oxtail, lamb shank, T-bone steak. Meat.
Leg of lamb.
it's shanky. It can't be lamb, so we'll take it. Let it slide. Let it slide.
What are my hobbies?
Your hobbies, you love to read. You love to bird watch, taking photographs, and walking anywhere where there's nature.
Yeah, we'll take that one. Yes.
Yeah.
How specific? It's fine. Because the answers are so beautiful. Can't find that answers are.
Walk with my wife at sunset, reading, playing games with my kids.
Okay.
I want an Aicho with me.
Okay.
Yes.
So number 2, clown person.
Okay, I can. Which means by
That's
so
good.
many
So you
by the
owe him-
exam 90%.
You owe him one.
I owe
He
you
will.
one.
He will decide what you owe him.
Okay. Sure.
Next.
And they're ready. Baringa. What does a perfect weekend look like for me? To me.
For Rana, she has changed. She used to be an outgoing person. That still comes up every now and then. But in Ngoku, she's more of a home person.
And the answer?
And the answer?
Your answer.
Your answer, no?
Oh, my answer is indoors.
Oh.
Pajamas, corner couch, and tea. Lots of tea.
Okay.
Yeah. What do I like more? Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Tick. What am I scared of? This is so obvious.
Okay, in one of her comments when we were doing the last one, we mentioned over now due to upbringings and the places of ukulakos or traumas or call. But at this we have rats.
anything
Crawling.
in the family of rats. It can be a whatever. Impuku encinci uba uzayibona impuku. So ndinee-sensors zeempuku, so I'm really scared of them. What is my all-time favorite food?
Sure. This one is hard.
Really? I love. Yini child utemea.
Ndizathi ntoni?
Yini.
Uyawuthanda umphoqo ndwenze ngokwam. Uyawuthanda umleqwa. Ube nomngqusho omhlophe.
Are you here, John? Yes.
Got it.
Umleqwa nomngqusho. Kwaye umleqwa
So you got 5 out of 5.
So should I go there?
Alright.
Number 5.
What are my hobbies?
Kukufunda. Oh, so. Sasiphi ezinye izinto othanda uzifunda?
Ngaphandle kwakho?
Ndizama ucina now because, yeah. The challenge is that most things sizenza kunye ngoba I'm trying to think those things that I will say lena yakho. Uyakuthanda ukuhlala phaa kule ndawo yakho apha endlini abantwana bayazi into abanayo kamama le. If ebehleli kuyo umama uyeza then
You must
esasitulo ngoba nje sisikhulu kangaka ye. If ubehleli yedwa ehleli laa ndawo xa umama esiza akasuki. So uyakuthanda ufunda and
Ndiyaxela.
Yeah?
Kuyaphela.
Mandiphela kufunda.
Okay. Ufunda kukhona. Walking near the beach.
Yeah, when I was trying to come to with things that you will be doing
With
alone.
me.
I love nature, but ndiyoyika, so ndiye indawo engathi izawuba neempuku nentoni ndiyayibaleka ispaces, even though I love nature. So the beach is quite safe ke akukho possibility of these zinto. So I love going there. I love to write and I love to cook.
I love to cook.
Point.
Ndicela ubuza unangaphi? Fumene ngaphi?
Kumele 4.5 because
Ukurida nophansi. Chaza.
elandiza kodwa lena akachaza lezithi 4.5.
4.5.
Hayi wena ufumene 4 wena.
Yeah, ngayibona.
So you lost.
Okay. I can